My name's Dan Walsh. I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of the Guitars for Kids initiative here in the Waterloo region. As a matter of fact, I'm president, and I'm very, very lucky to have an amazing board of directors that volunteers their time and their efforts into what we do every year. We started this program in 2014, and we weren't sure how it was going to go. And basically, what we do here is we take in donated guitars in any shape. We put those through Brian Gardner, our luthier, and our partner luthiers. And they will make a judgment call as to whether these guitars are worth repairing, getting them into the hands of the kids in need in our region, or whether they become an art guitar, which we'll discuss here shortly. Since the inception of Guitars for Kids, Waterloo region, we've put over 700 guitars back into the community in 6 years. I think we've hit around 40 different art guitars in that time also. And we've also seen our program grow across Canada. For instance, we have sister branches now, and these branches are all run autonomously based on the model of our program. So what I'm saying is that we're not a franchise, but we help all the other branches with the things that we have learned over the past few years on our program. So, I mean, we have Guitars for Kids Toronto, we have Guitars for Kids Red Deer, Alberta, we've got Guitars for Kids Bruce County. We've got Guitars for Kids Muskoka. It's just amazing to watch this program grow. So people will ask me, how does the program work? Well, what we do here in Waterloo region, we have a number of different drop-off locations. They're all basically at the idea exchanges of who we partner with in our region. We also have Brian Gardner Guitar Repair as a location, and also Dwayne King at the Guitar Corner is our Kitchener drop-off partner. Also, if you have a guitar you want to donate, we do have a crew of people that can come out and get it if you can't get it to a drop-off location. So it's a very, very amazing program. For us to see how this has grown over the years, I'm just ecstatic. I mean, I had no idea that this program would become so popular. Now, of course, this program doesn't run itself. We're very, very fortunate to have a number of great sponsors in our area. For instance, Franklin Storage donates a locker for us to keep all the guitars, of which we're sitting on about 100 right now. And we need that space. That's a very, very important area for us because none of us have the space at home to take care of these guitars. Now, we also have Droulard, Sambrook, and Kingston Accounting, who handles our yearly taxes, because we are a registered not-for-profit. We're not a charity. It's a difference, but we're registered not-for-profit, and therefore we run a tax account with the government every year. Even though we have minimal expenses, what it does is show that we exist and we are legitimate. We also are sponsored by Pavey Law. Pavey helps us with any legal work that we may have. Fortunately, we haven't had any yet, but in case we do have some legal situations, Pavey Law sponsors us. And of course, we're right here at Angus Audio. Angus Audio has been a fine partner over the years with us. They used to help us when we used to be Cambridge Live Music before we shifted into Guitars for Kids. So Angus is a good partner for us. Of course, Brian Gardner Guitar Repair is a partner. Even though Brian's on our board of directors, we still consider him not only an integral member of our board of directors, but also a partner. And then the Guitar Corner, as I mentioned, in Kitchener, and also the Fish and Musician in Waterford. And you will see Guy Westbrook from the Fish and Musician play a couple of songs for us as we go into this program here. Now, before we get down to the actual show, we should discuss our art guitars. And so you'll see amongst me here, there's some guitars. And like I said, what happens here is if the guitars are beyond repair, we send them off to the local school kids in town or local artists, adult artists in town here, and they turn these pieces of guitar into pieces of art. They were destined to be pieces of guitar, and now they are one piece of beautiful art. And you'll notice I'm going to point down here. This guitar right here was done by Jackie Sokol of Paris, Ontario. This guitar is going to spend the next year being displayed at either a local storefront or at the ID Exchange, and then we will put it up for auction next year. So it's an amazing program. We waste nothing. We're essentially a rock and roll blue box. Now, before we start the show, I have to mention we have a nice family from the area, the Morel family, and they've graciously donated to us every 6 months a $500 donation to help with our day-to-day costs. And as a result of that, I welcome you to the Nigel Morel Memorial Stage. Had we been live this year, it would have been the Morel live stage, but for this video today, we're going to call it the Nigel Morel Memorial Stage for the film work. So we appreciate the efforts of the Morel family to help us here. It keeps our program alive, and it's very, very important to us. So stay tuned for the show, folks. We're going to get right down to it. And if you have a guitar that you'd like to donate, please consider us. You can drop this off at any ID Exchange, or you can go to guitarsforkids.ca and follow the links there, and we will give you a path to get that guitar to us. Enjoy the show. Our first performer today is a longtime supporter of Cambridge live music and Guitars for Kids. As a matter of fact, he sat on our board of directors for a number of years. Jesse Perrin is a local Kitchener-based singer-songwriter who has a new vinyl album available entitled For a Moment. That vinyl album can be found at jesseparentmusic.com. I offer you Jesse Perrin, folks.
Living in isolation, everyone's got a quiet desperation in their eyes. And anytime you want, we can hang out on the net. I'm starting to forget the smell of your hair. When it's all said and done, we will fill up the holes in our hearts. Until then, we're learning to live apart. We're learning to live apart on the wall. A young man sits quietly, his father's in surgery to get rid of cancer in his bones. Calls his mother on the phone to feel a little less alone. They haven't seen each other in a month. When it's all said and done, we will fill up in our hearts. Until then, we're learning to live apart. We're learning to live apart. Oh. Calgary, he's got a son who works in Tennessee. Couldn't catch a flight home in time. When it it's all said and done, we will fill up the holes in our hearts. Until then, we're learning to live apart. We're learning to live apart. No.
Hi, my name is Tara Mondu, and I help Guitars for Kids Waterloo region with their public relations and their media. And today I'm here to talk to you about art guitars. So Dan, if you wouldn't mind grabbing that first art guitar there. This is a lovely little guitar. It's called Little Raincoats. And as you can see, the two little people, or the two little creatures there, have cute little yellow raincoats, and they're looking to expect some rain to come down. And those guitars are all available for auction.
Bobcat Bartolo was one of our awesome performers from last year's 5th annual fundraiser. And he's a very busy person around town. He fronts a band called The Liberation. He's involved with the World Peace Festival last year. And we're happy to have him here playing for us again at the 6th annual Guitars for Kids fundraiser. So I offer you JoshBartolo.
Good times in the cold. They keep saying it'll be alright, but things ain't gotten better yet on the outer inside. Where do we go from here? What's that you said? Just wanna get to sleep. I've been wasting away, saving a few pieces of my fate, but it's the only thing worth contemplating. Seems I've lost track of the time. The reasons ain't too hard to find, Lord. I'm losing my mind. The pieces I can't find. Whoa, whoa. That's why I'm living for today. Nothing more to contemplate, long as got you next to me. Oh my, oh baby, life is great. Love you till the end.
The next art guitar we have for auction is from an artist named Sarah Larkin from GCI here in Cambridge. And Tara, if you could show us that guitar. A pretty cool little piece of artwork here from our local students, and this one is just a beaut. She's done very wonderful work on it. And this guitar is available for auction. You can't build a house if you can't afford the bricks. The people on the top, they keep playing tricks, and you gotta work for yourself. You gotta think for yourself. You gotta own your own self, and you gotta do it by yourself. It don't matter how much money that you got. Well, there's always gonna be the people that have not, and you gotta work for yourself. You gotta think for yourself. You gotta own your own self, and you gotta do it by yourself. The more time that you spend will be the less time that you got. It's better to help your friends than to fight the man on top, and you gotta work for yourself. You gotta think for yourself. You gotta own your own self, and you gotta do it by yourself. When you find your bricks, you can finally build your house. The friends that you made, they'll be sure to help you out. 'Cause they took the time they had and they thought for themselves. You gotta work for yourself. You gotta own your own self. You gotta do it by yourself. And you gotta work for yourself. You gotta work for yourself. Brian Gardner has been a part of our board of directors for, I think, 3 or 4 years now. And as a matter of fact, he is our treasurer and money man. But what Brian really brings to our program is his luthier skills. Without Brian, this program really doesn't exist. What Brian does is he repairs the guitars, he judges whether they're good for circulation, whether we turn them into art guitars, whether we take a ride to the dump. He handles all that, and he's an invaluable asset to our team. I offer you Brian Gardner. From Brian Gardner, Guitar Repair.
Hi, and thanks everybody, first off, for watching today. As Dan mentions, I'm the money man as well as the guy who repairs the guitars, and so every donation you can make, everything you can do to help us out is greatly appreciated, and I'm going to try and help show you where some of that money goes today and what we do here. So when people donate guitars, and here's one that came in and has been fixed up. First thing that happens is it comes to me, and I will do various things. I will check it out first, make sure nothing's broken up here, look for breaks in the seams, look on the bridge here, this spot, often lifting on an older guitar. We'll make sure that's fine. And then I'll tune it up and just play it a bit, make sure it's got playability. Then from there, the strings come off. It's a fairly simple process. Strings off. We'll check the frets and make sure everything's level. We make sure, I look down the neck and make sure that everything's straight, everything's level. If it's not, We file the frets, we sand them, reglue, if necessary, reglue the bridge, possibly fix any cracks that may be on the guitar. And quite often, the nut here, quite often that's damaged in an older guitar. So we'll replace that. And that's one of the things where if you donate money, that's one of the things where it may go. That costs money, that's a part. And then from there, it's really just tune up the guitar, restring it, and here's our big expense is strings. Almost probably 50% of the money we spend is strings for guitars. Every guitar gets a new set of strings. Every guitar gets refreshed with strings. So strings are the key point. We spend a lot between that and basically just delivery charges. That's what we spend most of our money on. So if you're donating money, that's where it's going. Okay, so once the strings are on, it becomes a playability issue. And I start working on how high is the bridge, how high are things here, how high are the strings, and it's an adjustment. It's a fiddly adjustment up and down, strings on, strings off, to fix it sometimes. And then it's a play. You play it and make sure it's playing well. And that's what happens to your guitar. Your guitar comes in. Now, if it's an electric guitar, one of the things I'll do is check the electronics. They often need cleaned. So we use electronic cleaner to clean the pots, and occasionally take it apart and rewire it or resolder a wire. But that is primarily what we do here, what I'm doing here. And Mr. Walsh makes it sound like it's a big deal, but really it's a fairly simple process. And from there, we take your guitar and we just get it into the hand of a kid who needs it, and hopefully it's a playable instrument by then, and hopefully it's something that'll last them for years.
One of the cool things about our program is we get to see lots of young musicians grow on their path of music. And at last year's fundraiser, we met a young fella from Cambridge. His name was Erickson Start. He's a banjo player. And for those who were at that event will recall, he pretty much stole the show that afternoon. So we're very, very happy and honored to have him as part of our fundraiser this year. I offer you Erickson Start.
This next art guitar is by Ella Fisher. She's also a student from Galt Collegiate Institute here in Cambridge. Okay, so Dan, can you guess which one is called Majestic Peacock? How'd you know it was that one?
Well, I looked right at it, and there was a peacock right on it.
Isn't it majestic?
That's very majestic.
I love this one. I love the colors, the blues, the greens, the way she's got the neck and the face curving right around the guitar hole. Is that what that's called?
Yes, it's called a guitar hole.
This is the majestic peacock. We love this one. Isn't it beautiful?
It's a beautiful, and it's such amazing artwork that these students do here in Cambridge. I mean, every year these get better and better and better.
Yep.
Guy Westbrook is somewhat of a partner of the Guitars for Kids program. We've partnered up on an initiative over in Simcoe over the summer for the Arts with Hearts foundation over there. Also, Guy runs a beautiful vintage guitar shop, The Fish and Musician in Waterford, Ontario. You can find Guy at thefishandmusician.com. I offer you Guy Westbrook.
I've been so lonely, I've been so blue. Girl, when you left me, I was lonely, boy. I was only blue and lonely since you've been gone. Well, you went ahead and met another Jack Handy, who's bringing you flowers, giving you candy. Would you cry? Yes, you'll cry. Yes, you'll cry over me. Blue and lonely, me, oh my. When you said goodbye, thought that I would cry. Well, I'm only blue and lonely for you. Now you're mumbling and crying, all alone by yourself, 'cause your new man done left you high and dry on the shelf. But you can't leave me alone and just go on home by yourself. Said goodbye, I thought that I would die. Well, I'm only blue and lonely for you.
This next guitar is a really interesting one. Now let's see if Dan can find this one. It's called A Little Coy. Do you know what a little coy means, Dan?
Are you actually acting a little coy right now on this microphone?
Does it look like a little fish to you?
Oh, I thought you meant you were acting coy. Okay.
All right, where's a little coy?
Oh, wait a minute.
This is a little coy fishing, swimming around the guitar. Another beautifully done guitar. This one is by Isabel Denny, who's also a student at Galt Collegiate Institute here in Cambridge. So again, another high school student. Fabulous artwork. Like Dan said before, these guitars just keep getting better and better. Unbelievable how really talented these kids are.
And I would point out that these koi aren't exactly little. So when you bid on this guitar, you're getting a lot of koi for the buck.
fish and brings them home to lighter eyes. The boy that lost my ship, 'cause I's the boy that sank her, but I's the boy that drags her back. I'll hoist by rust I anchor. I's the boy, I's the boy, I's the boy, I's the boy, 'cause I's a boy. That loves my lass. I's the boy that saves her. I's the boy that brings her back from Davy's locker. I's the boy that lost his mind, but I's the boy that gets her. I's the boy that bides his time, 'cause I's the boy. I's the boy. I's the boy, I, 'cause I's the... Yes, I's the boy. Yes, I's the boy. Yes, I's the boy. And I, and I, and I, and I.
Okay, Dan, what I'm going to do here right now is test your music skill. I'm not sure if you know the lyric and what song it came from, and also who were the two men that performed this song. Now, the lyric is, "You could have it all, my empire of dirt."
Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails. Johnny Cash did an even better version of that song.
You didn't even pause to think.
Because everybody knows that line.
That's amazing. You could have it all, my empire of dirt.
Who's the artist on this one?
This is Olivia McNeil, once again, a student from Galt Collegiate Institute here in Cambridge.
I'd be interested to know what version that Olivia based this on. I'm gonna go with it may have been the 9 Inch Nails version.
I feel like she was feeling the Trent Reznor.
Right, I met her. Now, it would be awesome if it was Johnny Cash, but either way, it's an amazing piece of work right here.
Beautiful.
grave of old Archie Brown. He fought in 2 world wars and they never shot him down. Father was a deacon, his mother was a nurse. I used to steal pennies from the bottom of her purse. He manned a gun in World War I. He kept them Germans on the run. Brave bullets, bombs, darkness, cold, and sun. He faced rats, rot, freezing rain. He got wounded in his last campaign, but he won a medal when the war was done. Now he's all alone on his way back home. I'm standing by his bones. Well, he smoked just like a chimney. Corn whiskey was his choice. It helped to keep the gravel in the bottom of his voice. He went to church on Sundays and he always dressed in black. His wife left him in 50 and she never once came back. Well, they cut me out of hand. They taught me how to cuss. When they put him in a nursing home, when he never made a fuss. Well, all that new attention, well, it must have hurt his pride, 'cause he checked in Saturday afternoon, on Sunday just died. Now he's all alone on his way back home. I'm standing by his bones.
Okay, so coming up next, we have this year's ARC guitars. So these guitars were sent out to local artists here in the region of Waterloo and sometimes just outside of the region of Waterloo. Now, we're so lucky because we have a few of these ARC guitars back already. Now, the first one is by artist, her name is Jenny Q. And this one is just fantastic, and what I love the best. So we were talking earlier about these guitars go out with their strings removed. Now what Jenny did is she went ahead and restrung this guitar, and then here, I believe these called the frets, she put some beads here, and this one says, "Music is magic." And really that's what it's all about. And she also wrote, "Smile, love, and laugh." This is a beautiful guitar by Jenny Q. And this one will be going on display for a whole year until next year when we auction it off at our annual fundraiser. Now the next one we have, this is from a young girl in town here named Felicia. So yeah, Dan, if you want to grab that one, this one's really cool. Now, I don't like to interpret artists and their meaning, but I will point out some of the obvious, really cool stuff about this guitar. Now, on the top, you have some black and white checkerboard, and then just beneath, a few down is Pink Floyd. Another few down is a dancing bear, which I'm pretty sure is a Grateful Dead bear.
You would be absolutely correct.
Am I right? Am I right? Going back to my hippie roots from back in the day. And if you continue on down, it talks about some stuff that's been going on in 2020. I think she's got Black Lives Matter, a few things. I think there's some throwback to.
This one's very timely for sure. As I look at this guitar, this is quite a timely guitar for 2020.
Yep, and if you flip it around. Beautiful. Very colorful. So
isn't that awesome?
Yeah. So whether you place that forward or backward, either way, it's a beautiful, beautiful art guitar. All right, what else do we have, Dan?
The last guitar we have more guitars coming. They're in a state of art right now. The artist will have them done the next month or two, but I touched upon this guitar very briefly in my introduction. This particular guitar was done by an adult artist in Paris, Ontario. Her name is Jackie Sokol, and it's just a beautiful piece of work. What I did not show you on the introduction was you're getting twice the art for the price of one guitar. Now, of course, this one is not available for auction this year. These will all be available next year on our 7th annual fundraiser for auction then. In the meantime, with the other art guitars, you can go to guitarsforkids.ca, or you can go to 32auctions/GFKWR and place a bid on those available art guitars for 2020.
I want someone to kiss me when we stop at traffic lights. I want someone to whisper secrets softly to me at night. I want someone to worry when I've been out far too long. I want someone to miss me when I'm far away from home. It's all about the little things, of this I have no doubt. We'll take care of the little things and the big things. The big things will work themselves out. I want someone to hear me when I'm speaking with my eyes. I want someone to pour my morning coffee as I rise. I want someone to leave X's and O's and post-it notes. I want someone to laugh at my stupid little jokes. It's all about the little things, of this I have no doubt. We'll take care of the little things and the big things. The big things will work themselves out. Take care of those little things. Take care of those little things. Take care of those little things. Take